All right. Well, it looks like we're live. All right. Looks like we're finally on the air here. We have a little technical difficulties here, but welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I am your host, sometimes Jonathan Simmons, and today has been a wild day because I leave right from my job and come right here. It was really, really crazy. I got to put some glasses on so I can see everybody. And thank you as always for joining us. You can see on the screen for those who are watching, that was the score of the game that we did last week. It was a wild game. North Clayton knocked off Luella 45-38. But we'll talk a little high school football in just a little bit, and we'll get into that. We thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Again, you're watching the Real Talk Sports Show or listening to the Real Talk Sports Show, whichever it may be. As we get in here after a wild day at work at Allen Vigil Ford in Lincoln, we were about to leave and we had to step in and assist a service client. So that's why we just are appearing right here at the last minute. But we thank God again for those of you who are watching us. Now, I see in the green room, he's actually been waiting carefully for a few minutes. He does a wonderful work with nonprofits here in the area. And he actually has a manual out on how to conduct yourself as a young person coming along the way. It's called the Student Athlete Playbook. And I have my good friend, Mr. Barry Brown, is back in the building. Barry Brown, welcome back, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Jonathan. How you doing today, man? I see you've been ripping and running.
There
So
he is.
always,
Oh, there he is. Praise the Lord.
yes, sir. Always happy to be in the building with you, man. And yes, sir. Hey, resistance only makes us stronger. So when we go through a challenging day, hey, it only makes us stronger, my brother. Yes, sir.
Is that what they told you? that's
Yes.
that's what's on the brochure. Remember, your
Yes.
tough days help to make you stronger.
Hey,
Please
that's
call
it,
this
my
number,
brother.
1-800 Get Tough. Well,
And
yeah, at the end of the
get you
day, I
about
mean,
10
listen,
push-ups in right quick.
I'm about to go do it now. About to go do a little something, hit the floor, and make it do what it do. No, but at the end of the day, I have nothing to complain about. It just was one of those days. Everybody has them, and I had a chance to help a guy out who was in some, I don't say distress, but he had his F-350, and it was really nice. Had the nice like gunmetal gray. and it had the Ford logo, and on the back had a big trail that said Red Bull. And I realized that he was like the Red Bull guy. He was like, "Hey, sir,
Okay.
like we were supposed to be here at 4 o'clock." I said, "Well, good news, sir. It's about 6:30." But anyway, he had the big trailer, and I told him where to park it. I told him to drop his keys off, and I said, "Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to do a podcast." "Oh man, well hurry up!" I said, and I cover some NASCAR. I said, "I've always wanted to do Formula One because you had the Red Bull with the Formula One car." He said, "Oh yeah, man, I did NASCAR for a while." Then he said the magic words, which people say all the time, so we don't know if it's true or not. He said, "Hey, the Formula One in Miami." I said, "That's off the chain. That's where all the big rollers are." He said, "If you get a chance to come down," he said, "contact us and we'll get you in by the pits."
How
I
about
said,
that?
"Well, send me out." Now, of course, the guy took my card. I don't know what he's going to do with it afterwards. I told him to text me. Who knows? I might never hear from the guy again. But at the end of the day, I might. And we
You
could be
never
taking
know.
a trip to Miami and do some Florida One,
Absolutely.
Formula One. Wouldn't that be nice? There you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it.
Mr. Brown, I want to say something. I'm sure you heard or saw the headline, and there was a gentleman that we had watched about 20 some odd years ago um, come out of college. The guy led his team to two appearances in the AFC Championship game. Matter of fact, one of those years knocked off the Patriots with the GOAT in his prime. And unfortunately, in a bizarre incident,
Mm-hmm.
former USC star and New York Jet quarterback Mark Sanchez has been arrested
Oh
on
yeah.
assault and battery
Yeah.
charge, as you heard, where he evidently got into some type of really knockdown, drag out brawl with a truck driver who was significantly older than him, actually got older than me, and actually received multiple stab wounds and pepper spray. Um, Now, Mr. Sanchez has said he has no recollection of the incident as pleading not guilty. Um,
Oh wow.
so, one of a couple of things have happened here. Hopefully or not, even though I don't even know how to phrase this, because like I said again, the gentleman who he beat was beaten severely, and the guy to be hospitalized, and certainly, like I said, he himself
Right.
was stabbed and could have died. So it's a. I'm not trying to
Mm-hmm.
make really light of this because it is serious, but the fact that guy says he doesn't remember has all the makings of someone possibly drugging his beverage. I'm just thinking that's the only way I can think you can't remember. If that's an
Right.
excuse, Mr. Brown,
Right.
what would you instruct someone, as they're out
Well,
when you're a
it
high
is
profile
well, first of
person? What
all,
would you tell them?
yeah, well, first of all, we're gonna pray for Mr. Sanchez, and we're gonna pray for the gentleman that was in the altercation with him.
Right,
There's always, you know, Mr. Sanchez's truth, the gentleman's truth, and then the actual truth. So we don't know. I don't know what happened. I did hear about the incident. So we're gonna pray for all parties involved. And one of the things, I have two daughters, so I talk to them all the time about being aware of their surroundings, never going anywhere alone, and and definitely never leaving their drinks alone or what have you. Because if you do, then you need to get another drink by far, and that can be an alcohol beverage, or that can just be a fruit juice, a fruit punch. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
So the
Yep, you're
beverage
right. You're
doesn't
right.
even matter. But what
You're
what
surely
what
right.
does matter is you being alert and aware of your circumstances. And then, there's a thing called discernment. Now, discernment is, I believe, and I've been taught that you have to be connected to God. Like, you don't get discernment if you're not
Right.
connected to God. So
It's a spiritual thing. That's
so
correct. That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
it's a spiritual thing. So,
Right. Yeah.
and I've seen that word used incorrectly here recently. I'm like, oh wow, they didn't even put any spiritual or nothing in that. Like, how you gonna have discernment if you're not even connected to God? But anyway,
Right.
so your discernment kicks in, and then you're looking at who you're around. You're looking at the
Right.
environment, the actual venue that you're in. And then let's say you leave that venue, you're walking to your car and things of that nature. So you want to have your keys already in your hand. Then you want to be, hopefully you parked in a way, if it's at night, you parked in a well lighted area. And then if you're a young lady, I always talk about getting escorted out and things of that nature. So those are some of the things to take into consideration when you're out and about in the town. And hey, let's just keep it 100. There's not a lot of, well, let me say this. I'm not gonna say it that way. Let me say it this way. There are some bad people in the world. Now, I personally believe there's more good people than bad. But when you're under the influence of something, either you're under the influence, you did it yourself, you self-medicated, or something has happened to you, you're putting yourself at risk for bad things to happen. And we don't want that to happen to you. So
you're surely right.
Let's stay prayed up. Let's be alert and aware of what we're putting into our bodies if we can. And then most of the time we can. And then if something unfortunately happens, then man, we just pray that everything works out in your favor. And I'll leave it right there, John. If you're drugged by somebody else, and if something else happens that you're unaware of, and then you get put in this terrible circumstance, then we just pray that everything's gonna be out. But that definitely happens too when you're unaware of what has been put into your food, your drink, or what have you.
No doubt. And like I said, I was trying not to really make light of it, but yeah, certainly my prayers that both parties came out all right. Big shout out to Bernard Benjamin, said, awesome and glad to hear you guys. Peace and blessings. Amen. We appreciate you, Bernard, for tuning in. And please, we ask people to share the broadcast if you could. Also, going to ask you something else. If you are on YouTube, please, ma'am, please, sir, I'm going to put up there for you. Like and subscribe to our page, please. So like if you're on Facebook, subscribe if you're on the YouTube page, because we have breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. The Real Talk Sports Show has now achieved 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Okay, my phone is pinging. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's see what it says here. It says, Coach Robertson wants to know, do I just need audio? Well, Coach, I don't know if you can hear me here, but we'd like to see you. I mean, you seem like a nice enough fellow. You can come on, but if you really don't want to, we don't want to force anybody, because I know some people are more comfortable doing like a phone call. That's fine. You can do that, but we would appreciate. I guess I need to text him back, Barry, and respond to this. Yes. So we're going to do just a minute. We're going to take a break. I know people tune in and said, man, the picture a little bit more organized. Look a little discombobulated, tied loose, everything going on. But praise the Lord, we're here.
That's right. Hey, Coach, we're only human, man. We're only human. Right. We're going to make it do what it does.
And we're going to do it. Listen, we thank everyone who joins in. Because, so this is why I heard, Barry, people want you to be more, authentic. So this is more authentic you get. Tied loose, glasses crooked. Just about unfiltered you're going to get right here. So if you enjoyed the unfiltered look, remember, like and subscribe. All right, folks, enough joking around. We want to give a shout out to one of our main sponsors for this show, my employer, Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. You're watching Real Talk Sports Show, and we are on live on the podcast, unless you're watching by the replay. Then we're not live, we're on replay. We'll be right back. Bye.
Looking for a vehicle? Come to Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We're a family-owned dealership that's been serving the Atlanta area for over 40 years, offering an unbeatable selection of new Fords, Lincolns, and pre-owned vehicles. Enjoy our exceptional customer service and great financing options tailored just for you. Visit us at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in Morrow, Georgia, located just 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. Call us at 678-364-3979 or visit online at allenvigilford.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports. What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
All right, we're back. My head's bobbing. We're having fun. You're watching the Real Talk Sports Show, and I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons. And we thank God for those of you who have joined us tonight. And tonight. Speaking of tonight, the Queen will not be with us because she's with her dad, and also I notified her late. I'm going to do better about getting the information out earlier. That's my goal, to be better, and do better. And that's all I got to say about that. Well, let's do this, Barry. Let's do something we normally don't do. How about Major League Baseball? I mean, the playoffs, man. These guys been balling out.
Hey, man, I saw some of the LA Dodgers Phillies game last night. And hey, man, listen, when these guys start playing ball and hey, listen, there's a reason Reggie Jackson was named Mr. October. And this is the month when it goes down for Major League Baseball, man. So if you haven't watched all year, I know the Braves are out of it. And I'm a huge Atlanta Braves fan. You can see my little dancing Atlanta Braves girl dancing bobblehead back behind me. Listen, so disappointed in the Braves this year. However, you still get a chance to watch some high quality Major League Baseball here in the playoffs right now. And hey, tune in, check it out. And that game against the Dodgers and the Phillies last night was off the chain. So you had bunting, you had some great base running, and man, hey, it's that time of the year. So let's get it in. Shout out to Major League Baseball and the 2025 playoffs that are in action right now.
Yeah, matter of fact, let's get you guys updated to what's going on in case you do not know. So the Yankees, after knocking off their arch nemesis, the Boston Red Sox, so far getting shellacked by the Blue Jays. Blue Jays jumped out to a 2-0 lead, taking the first two games in Toronto. Of course, the series now shifts back to New York. So look for the Yankees to come back, and I would think tie that series. Also, another series which is up 2-0. The Milwaukee Brewers have shut down the Cubs in their first two games in Milwaukee. They lead 2-0. And also the Dodgers have a 2-0 advantage over the Phillies after winning last night, and you said a scintillating game, 4-3. Meanwhile, two other series are pretty tight. Mariners and Tigers battling out. They're tied at 1-1. Tigers now back at home, and so we will see what they will be able to do going forward. The Tigers, man, shook up the world. I think they had one of the best records overall in the major leagues. At least they have for a long time. So shout out to the Tigers. And I know a Tree is probably listening somewhere, and she goes, Detroit Tigers. So we want to give a big shout out to Detroit for handling their business, man. Like I said again, I mean, they came out of nowhere, Barry. I mean, it's like, like who are these guys?
Man, well, let me tell you about Detroit. Detroit, I have to go all the way back to, I think, that 1988 team with Alan Trammell and all those guys when you start talking about the Detroit Tigers. So, hey, shout out to Tree and her hometown with the Lions and the Detroit Tigers, the baseball team, playing some good ball right now.
And also another team playing good ball with a guy who is probably the most underwhelming superstar that we've had in many, many years. The Seattle Mariners are led by a gentleman by the name, if you don't know him, by the name of Cal Raleigh. Now, Mr. Raleigh plays the catcher position, but I want to give you some stats. Now, his batting average is not too good. He's only batting 247. But Mr. Raleigh joined a short group of men who have hit not 40, not 50, but Mr. Raleigh hit 60 home runs this season. 60 homers, 125 runs batted in for the big-time catcher from out of Seattle. So big shout out to Kyle Raleigh leading his team to the postseason for the first time in a couple of years and putting himself in a position where, along with Aaron Judge, would have to be on the short list for MVP candidates. But yeah, Seattle, big shout out to them and Cal Raleigh, a guy, like I said, the most underwhelming superstar we've had in the last couple of years. Matter of fact, when they showed him on during the All-Star break, I'm like, who? Cal who? Maybe he got 35 home runs at the break. Who's this guy? Because, again, being on the East Coast, we don't see the games. The Mariners are not necessarily a sexy team like the Dodgers. They don't have the big-time superstars like teams like the Padres who are out in the West Coast. So really, nobody really – I mean, I had not heard this guy until the All-Star break. And they were like, this guy's on pace to hit 60 homers. I said, who? But bottom line is, big shout-out to him and the Mariners for getting the postseason play. So, yeah, Major League Baseball, they are breaking records this year for viewership and for attendance. Some of it has been the fact that, in the last couple of years, they made some changes, bigger bases. They speeded up. They have a pitch clock, all that kind of stuff. So kudos to MLB to getting to the, I guess joining the now generation, so to speak. Baseball normally is pretty conservative. I'm just saying.
Right.
So
Right.
again,
Well,
thank you
it's a
very much.
slow down game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a game that you go out to the ballpark. Like baseball is an in-person sport where you go to the ballpark, you relax, you stretch out, man. You have hot dog, a hamburger, a nice soda or what have you, your adult beverage, and you just have a good time in the atmosphere of the ballpark, man. So it's not called America's pastime for no reason. It's a great experience, and I encourage you, if you have a major league ball club in your town, or even a minor league ball club in your town, hey, go to the games, man. It's a great experience for the whole family. That's the thing about baseball that I love.
You're surely right, man. There's something in minor league experience even better because the ballparks are smaller, so you're more on top of the players, and you really can kind of see the game, as far as the tactics, the techniques, the skill sets of the players even closer. I will say one thing about Major League Baseball: it doesn't cost much to get in, but if you're hungry, boy, they're gonna knock you in the head. I went with a friend to a Braves game because she was here from out of the Washington D.C. area, and she's a Washington Nationals fan, and she said, "Listen, I want to go to Truist Park. I saw you with your broadcast here live. I want to see it in person, go to the Battery." And her eyes were like this the whole time, like, "Oh, this is so nice." And thanks to one of our vendors, we had really great seats. So we get down there, we're down, man, like, not too far, but maybe about 6-7 rows away from the dugout, so we're down there. And so she was like, "Let's get some food before we go sit down." Dude, I got I think a hamburger platter. I want to say it was $15. Okay, a burger that it was on, and it wasn't even like it was a fresh burger. They had them already like pre-made, ready to go. Like, here you go. Here's your burger and fries, sir, and a water that was like $16 or $17.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what makes the difference at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. What Arthur Blank is doing there compared to what other places are doing when you start talking about professional sports and the concessions. But hey, listen. So I love at Mercedes-Benz, you can refill your drink on your own. You get the cup basically. I think it's for $2 or something like that. You're drinking all game long. They got the specials on the food. So hey, yeah. Hey, Braves, Hawks, let's everybody get on board with affordable concessions.
Well, now, of course, the reason why they do that is because unlike the Falcons tickets, which the nosebleeds over $100. You go to a Braves game, and especially if you go like the way you call them businessman specials, like you go during the middle of the daytime, you can take for like $9 or $10. So that's why they're saying, "Hey, man, leave us alone.
we gotta make some money somehow, right?"
That's it. But yeah, again, big shout out to Major League Baseball, all the stuff they're doing there. Okay, before we get into our meat of our high school coverage and so forth, we got to talk a little college football. So let's take a look here, Mr. Barry Brown, at the rankings for college football. And they haven't changed too much. Number one maintains the 5-0, the Ohio State Buckeyes, followed by a team that, has had their ups and downs, but certainly more ups this year at 5-0 also. The Miami Hurricanes, number 2 overall. The Oregon Fighting Ducks. For a team that's like a football team, to have a mascot like a duck is kind of funny. But anyway, Oregon Fighting Ducks, at number 3. Ole Miss, led by the mercurial Lane Kiffin, 5-0. Best start he's had since he's been a head coach. Texas A&M, 5-0 at number 5. Oklahoma, 6 at 5-0. Indiana, remember them from last year. They snuck into the top 10. Well, back in there again at number 7, 5-0. Alabama has righted the ship. Yes, they now are 4-1. Texas Tech, who's got all the NIL money in the world, they're at 5-0 at number 9. And the Georgia Bulldogs close out the top 10 at number 10. But I'm going to tell you something, boys. The team to watch out, the team I told you about, is now, if the playoffs started today, there'll just be one game out of the mix. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, with their highest ranking in over a decade, the Jackets at 5-0 are number 13 in the nation. You got to like them Yellow Jackets, Barry Brown.
That's right.
Got to like them. Balling out. Ahead of Michigan.
Hey, I like those Yellow Jackets. I love those Yellow Jackets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And apparently,
Yeah. So
we got a sneaky
they got a
sneak
game
team.
coming up this week with
Yes, sir.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Tech. Now, I tell you, you got
No,
to
I
watch
was
out.
agreeing with you.
Sneak. Go ahead. No, Virginia Tech, man, they're balling out. Now, here's a shocker. A team that we were laughing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, man, these boneheads, Florida State lost these clowns. Well, guess what? The Cavaliers out of Virginia are not too shabby because they are 5-1 and ranked number 19 in the country. So maybe,
absolutely.
Virginia a lot better than we expect. And last team I want to give a big shout out to, although they lost to Alabama, how about the team with the name that doesn't fit college football? The Commodores out of Vanderbilt find themselves at 5-1 and round out the bottom of the top 20. So yeah, man, college football, not the NIL, Barry. It's crazy now, bro.
Hey, man. Well, like we said, shout out to Rob McKenzie that covers Georgia Tech 24/7 Sports. Listen, at the end of the day, you got NIL and this collective money that's out there, and these schools are taking full advantage of it, and now they can do it above the table. And hey, it is what it is. College sports, specifically football and basketball, we're going to see it like we've never seen it, and the parity is going to be there because every school now is going to have some top flight players, the best that money can afford, and it's just going to be very hard to stack All-Americans behind All-Americans. It's just going to be very hard to do that. But before we get off of college football, Mr. Simmons, I cannot get out of here without shouting out my Presbyterian College Blue Holes out of Clinton, South Carolina, one of the undefeated FCS teams in the country.
Wait a minute.
Sir. So yeah, that's right. You heard me right.
He said the Blue Holes is undefeated.
Right. Undefeated, 5-0. They had a bye week this week, so we're going for 6-0 this upcoming weekend. And shout out to them, man. And I'm very proud of my Blue Hole. So shout out to Blue Holes Nation. Yes, sir.
And here it is right here, guys. Let's walk through the schedule here. Presbyterian College is, would you say 4-0 or 5-0, Barry? I think it's 5-0.
Don't take a win from us, Mr. Simmons. No,
okay, slow down.
No, we're 5-0.
Okay, slow down. We don't want anybody to get sideways. Yes, they are. They are 5-0, and they are 5-0 with some purpose, guys. Let's take a look at some of these big wins by Presbyterian. First of all, they knocked off Furman in overtime, 39-38. They also knocked off Mercer 15-10. I believe that started their season. Erskine, they laid the wood to them, 42-14. And folks, listen to this one here. I don't know where they got this team from. The Blue Holes, Blue Field, 76-3. I'm gonna say it again. They won 76-3. And then last week, they week before last, knocked off Morehead State 41-0. So I mean, not only is the Blue Holes winning, but they're winning in style, putting the shellacking on everybody.
Yes, sir. And let me put something in perspective for you right quick, Jonathan. That game against Mercer was ranked the number 11 team in the country coming in from the preseason. So that was a big win for us down there in the Macon, Georgia area. And then we turned around the very next week and beat a Furman team. And let me put in perspective for you personally. My first college game ever at PC was against Furman, man. And as a freshman coming from an outstanding and a championship caliber program like the mighty Morrow Mustangs out of Morrow, Georgia, Abro went up there, and my first college game was in Greenville, South Carolina, man. And Furman beat us 7-63, man. They beat the brakes off us. So for us to get this win over them in this season right here, and we've only beat them like 2 or 3 times in the history of us playing each other. So that was a big win for the Blue Holes this season, and the momentum has continued.
Here we go. All right, before we get out of here, our man is back. Fantasy Football Go Strategies. He said, upset alert, Auburn beats UGA on the night that Cam Newton's number is retired.
Ooh.
So we're going to be on the lookout for that. I'm going to tell you, Auburn's got a good team. And Georgia so far hasn't passed the eye test for me. I'm just saying. All right, guys, keep it locked right here.
Coach.
Who's that?
Hey, that's Dub Deuce sending that in. So shout out to Dub Deuce with that prediction right there. I like that with Fantasy Football Go Strategies. Right there.
He said something else earlier. He said something. He saw you selling some peanuts. What was he talking about?
Man, he probably talking about the Braves Stadium. Doug, I wasn't out there. But I will go.
Right. There you go. All right, guys, look, to keep it locked right here for more because we're going to shift into high school football. You know how we do. We always like to celebrate some of the great teams that are going on the South Side. We got to coach one of the teams, but to find out who it is, keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be right back.
Hey sports fans, tune in for live high school football Fridays, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at AllenVigilFord.net.
Assistant Director, Mr. Shannon Curry.
That's a little sample of sound on Friday Night Lights. That was one of the best bands in the country. That's the Jonesboro Mighty Marching Cardinals doing their halftime show. Clayton County gets really turned up on Friday nights as all around Metro Atlanta. Well, like I said again, we like to spotlight what's going on here on the South Side. We got a gentleman here that's with a team that the nickname of the team, a lot of people like the Raiders. I'm talking to guys from what they call the Dale, Riverdale Raiders. Coach Robertson, the head coach, is in the building. Coach Rob, welcome to our show, sir. Uh-oh. We got the coach. You got your mic on? Check your mic, coach. We can't hear you. He's checking. Uh-oh. Did you got the mic turned up? Because it's not muted. All right, coach is checking. We see him. I don't know, Barry. It might be something with the.
Check the volume. Yeah, check the volume.
Yeah, check the volume, coach, because you're not muted. So just turn your volume up a little bit. See if we got a volume button there somewhere. No. Yeah, because we got you look good, but we got no volume on you yet. All right.
Check your mic. Check make sure it's the right mic to go with the.
Got the right mic on there? Okay, yep, you're unmuted. He's checking. Hold on.
Oh man, still couldn't hear you.
Yeah, still with. Yeah, we still not hearing you, coach. I'm not sure what's cooking there. So hopefully we can get coach back in the mix here. All right. Okay.
So try from your phone if you on
if
your
it doesn't
laptop,
work on your computer,
phone.
try from your phone. Yeah, see if that might work for you. So we're gonna let coach reboot here. I'm gonna take him off the stage for a second, and we'll let him reboot, and then we'll let him come back on once he got it going on with his phone there. He's getting set. And let's see.
Those computers, those configurations on the computers can be crazy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, coach, I don't know if you can still hear me, but what you probably have to do is you have to open up the link from your phone, and then I think he's coming on now. Let's see if we got him. There he is. Hold on a second. I'm get him off the stage here and go to this stage.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you have to turn the other thing down because we get a little bit of echo. But yeah, we got you, man. We got you loud and clear. There we go. Yeah, we got you, man. We got you. I'm gonna take off the other Coach Robinson here and see if that'll help here. We get him out of there. Okay. All right, Coach, give us a few words. See if we can hear you again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep. You good. I think your video froze up a little bit, but we can't hear you. All right. Well, okay, now he's got a little video. Okay, we almost got you, Coach. Okay, phone's moving.
I know what.
He's going out with some better Wi-Fi. That's where he's heading out there right there. So we'll bring him back in just a second. Yep, once he gets
school. The school's blocked. They have all those blockers.
Oh, yes, right. I forgot
blockers.
I want to make sure we got no hackers or anything like that going. Listen, I appreciate the school being on the safe side rather than not. So big shout out to what they're doing over there, because again, you want to protect. You got young people there, and it's important that you you protect everybody. So I get it, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Well, Barry, let's talk a little bit about what we've seen so far on the South Side. We got some great teams, obviously, in Clayton and also in South Fulton. Wait a minute, I think we got the coach back on. Let's check again. All right, Coach, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear you.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man,
Look,
listen. Guys, I apologize. If you know anything about Riverdale High School, man, the service in this building is terrible.
well, Coach, I'm gonna tell you
We
something.
understand.
We got you, and it's really kind of my fault because, and I said to say this. So before we should start the show at 8, and it allowed the guys to get off the field and either get home, or sometimes we actually bring the guys to the studio. So as much as I don't want to do that, I think I might have to push it back to 8 o'clock. And the radio station owner has been like, well, hey, why come we don't do stuff in the studio and just bring you guys into the studio, and that way we don't have to worry about it. We got the sound man there, the soundboard, and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to do that the next time that you are on. Coach, the only other thing I will say is you might have to turn the light on the phone, because wherever you're at, it's like you went in the closet mode. You can't.
Nah,
Here he
I
is.
had to, I just came out to sit in the truck, man. Where the
Gotcha.
service is good
All
at.
right, there we go. Well, Coach, talk to us a little about the Riverdale program. Kind of what where you guys are right now. I know Riverdale has had phenomenal programs over the years. They've had some down years, some up years. So just talk to us a little bit about where the program sits right now for the 2025-6 season, and what your hopes are moving forward.
Well, Mr. Simmons, you hit the nail on the head. You know, Riverdale is known, traditionally as a really strong football program, especially on the south side of Atlanta here. This is my third year here. Currently, we're 1-6, but it's not quite as bad as it seems. We've been competitive in some games. We're really young, um, and it's a really good group. You know, my freshman group is pretty good. We're playing a couple of young guys as starters consistently there. We got a pretty decent sophomore class as well, so we're kind of trying to build to that apex. One of the things I would say has kind of been the theme in my years here is we just haven't had very many seniors. For whatever reason. Guys, my first year, we were in a really tough region, and we went 0-10. We really, really went through some growing pains. And then we lost a lot of guys. Guys moved, guys transfers, things that are beyond their control. But then sometimes other guys wanted a different kind of situation. And then the next year, we kind of start over. We rebuild. We get a little bit better. We end up winning the game. We go 1-9. We win the last game of the season to go 1-9 and take us into the off season. And then this year, we get off to a good start. We win the first game of the year. And then the second game, we play against Trinity Christian, and then we get a bunch of injuries, run into a bunch of injuries. A bunch of guys get banged up, and a lot of times it feels like you're spinning your wheels and you're in the same spot. But I constantly preach to my guys, man. You just got to keep growing, keep grinding. Your time, will eventually come.
No doubt, and you have you have a evidence of that not too far down the road from you. Of course, I know all you coaches are a tight fraternity, so you know that Coach Cap over in North Clayton went through some very severe growing pains as well. But now it's starting to pan out. He had a young man come in at quarterback position as a freshman. He is now one of the top players at the state. Yeah, now they got the team that they're starting to gel and get together. Well, Coach, on social media, we have a question for you here off of YouTube. Our good buddy Todd has got a question for you. Barry, can you read that question? I don't know if you can see it on your screen.
Yes, sir. I can see it. Yes, sir. It says, Coach Roberson, got a question. How do you control social media with your players?
So we bring our guys in um, at the beginning of the year, and we make them actually sign a social media agreement. And what that agreement basically states is that we don't want to put themselves or the program really in a bad light. And so we just ask our guys that if it's not anything positive, if it's not related to recruiting, um, that they don't partake in it. Our guys don't really get into the trash talk back and forth with other teams. Um, Everything we do, we try to keep it above the board and in good light, so that we can always keep the program kind of shining and on a positive level.
Well, it
Oh
sounds like
man,
that's
I love it.
that's really fantastic. And Barry, I know you're pleased to hear something like that for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, Coach Robinson. I mean, you've used some words that I really love when you're talking about your program. Because, like you say, y'all going through a challenging moment right now. However, you talked about keep growing. You talked about
Yeah,
keep grinding. And prior to you coming on at the beginning of the broadcast, I talked to Coach. I call him Coach Mr. Simmons. I said, hey, resistance only makes us stronger. So when you're going through them tough times, all we can do a lot of times is just keep grinding, keep grinding. And what we'll find out is, man, when we come out on the other side, we're better for it. And those freshmen and sophomores, by the time they're seniors and y'all are winning, they're gonna remember, man, you remember, man, we were freshmen, we come win a game to save our lives, and now look at us, got the program headed in a good direction. So I love that. And definitely you talk about positive images and posting things about recruiting. Yeah, in this day and age, man, we got so many negative things out there. We have to put out something positive on ourselves because the negative is gonna come on its own. So why don't we focus
100%.
on putting the positive stuff out there? So I love that. I love what you're doing, Coach. And hey, just keep up the great work of encouraging not only your players but yourself and your staff, because I know it can get, those losses can build up and you start doubting yourself. But hey, man, we here to support you. That's why we wanted you on here so you can tell your story and nobody
Right.
else can tell it for you.
100%, 100%, and just to kind of add to that, man, I make it a point really every week to really love on my guys, man, because
Yeah,
if you watch some of those games, a lot of those guys are really giving everything they got.
Right.
It's just, when you're playing against, teams that are a lot older and have been together and those guys have played a lot more football, you don't always come out on the winning side. And it's just kind of one of those things where, the players are frustrated, with the losses, but just helping them understand that ultimately losses are lessons and you got to take these experiences, with you so that you can grow. Because I mean, we never stop growing. 10-0 and 0 and 10, you're gonna get 100% from me every single day. And so for that, I think it's important for our guys to know and understand that, and then take those things with them as they move on.
love it.
You couldn't ask for anything better than that, Coach. And like they say, hashtag coaching matters. It does. And all these types of things are life lessons, and they carry on, well into, even when you get old and gray like me. Those lessons you learn, when we're in high school. A lot of guys talk about their high school coach. You're guys that are Hall of Famers, and they go up to get this, and they're 50-something years old, and they say, "Hey, the guy I want to shout out first, beside my parents, is my high school coach, not my college coach, my pro coach, my high school coach, because." You're the guy that really is dealing with these guys in their key formative years, man. So appreciate you. Again, obviously you want to win, but appreciate you saying, hey, it's bigger than just that.
100%, 100%.
Yes, sir.
Listen, coach, I know it's a team game, but like if we were going to tune into the Raiders, do you have a couple of players you say that fans would say, watch for this guy, or on defense or offense that we can kind of look into? And again, obviously, you're supporting your whole team, but one or two players on either side of the ball that would, you know, you say, hey, these are some guys to watch out for.
I would tell you, on the offensive side of the football, we got a young quarterback, Trenton Gurley, who's got a really bright future in this game. Um, he's really, he really throws a great ball. He's got good knowledge of the game. He's got a really good body right now, at just over 6'2", 205 pounds. And he's a
He's a
sophomore.
freshman.
He's a freshman. Oh, he's a sophomore.
Okay.
But he's really a freshman because he lost his freshman season to injury. And
Gotcha.
so,
Okay.
he got hurt the entire year. And so I try my best to really, really like help him understand because he gets frustrated now on Friday night
I'm sure.
when
Right.
when
Yeah.
things aren't going his way, and I'm just trying to help him find perspective. And it's like, son, you're 15 years old. You hadn't started Friday night varsity football until this year. You ain't just gonna turn on the lights and then it's just gonna happen for you. You got to go through stuff. And so as we've kind of progressed throughout the season, while it hasn't necessarily happened for us in terms of wins, you see him getting better on tape from week to week. And so I just make it a point to him and my quarterback coach to really sit down and really highlight like the good things he's doing, as well as the mistakes and the things that he can obviously grow
Correct. Gotcha.
on. Another guy would be our junior wide receiver, William Cochran. I say wide receiver, but he's really an athlete. He played
Athlete,
receiver.
ATH, baby. That's it. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. He played receiver. He played safety for us. He's played corner. He's been one of our main return guys. He's a little bit banged up right now. Just having dealing with some ailments as a smaller skill guy. But he was Clayton County's player of the um month in the month of August. Those first 3 or 4 games. Where's number two? So he would be my second choice. And then just to give my defensive guys some love on that side of the football, we have a linebacker, number 0. His name's Jordan Tucker. He was a guy that did play for us last year, but primarily JV. And he's really, really, really jumped into the forefront as a key guy for us at a linebacker. He's leading the team in tackles right now. He's working really hard. He's competing. He's leading the younger guys. He's probably the guy that I would say would be my vote right now for most improved from last year to this year. And then just to give the lineman some love, we got a defensive lineman by the name of Latravion Stevens who has really kind of grown into his own as a player as well at defensive end. He plays defensive tackle some when we need him inside. And has even flipped over and played some H back for us on offense. So that's just 4 guys, man, that are young, and have really, really, really taken the next step. And the good news is that they're all guys that would be returning uh next season. So it gives us something to build on.
All right,
Excellent.
Coach, before we end the segment, we got one final question from Todd. He's saying, Coach, I got an idea. Todd's always got a lot of ideas, just so you know. He says, when legendary coach Bear Bryant was struggling early on, he tried the wishbone and he won 6 championships. I don't know. What do you think about that type of running type of offense? I don't know about the wishbone, but certainly you guys use some type of RPO or variation of that.
Yes, sir. I would say by definition, we are a gun T team. Basically a team that plays in the gun, but we have wing T principles. Um, it's when it comes to offense, I don't specifically get married to any specific scheme in high school because your personnel kind of changes so much from year to year. When you're in college, you have the ability to go out and recruit the guys to the system in which you want to run. I know, like for me as a college guy, I played in the air raid, and we played 8, 9 receivers.
Yes, sir.
Um, my coaches, at Valdosta State, Coach Hatcher and those guys, they went out and recruited guys that fit uh, the system that we were running. Unfortunately, we have to pretty much deal with the guys that are here or in the building, and so we have to tailor what we want to do to that. Um, if I had three bell cow running backs and a horse offensive line, I wouldn't mind getting in the wishbone or any other power run offensive scheme. Um, but right now, linemen are a little bit hard to come by for us, so we have to try to figure it out and just kind of put our kids in the best possible position that we can put them in to be successful from Friday to Friday. And what we can do this Friday, we may not be able to do next Friday. So we have to be adaptable.
I like
But I
that,
think that
coach.
sums up real
I
good.
like the way you explain that,
Right.
coach. I like the way you explain.
He broke it down. He said, man, we gotta go with the flow to some degree. Well, coach, man, listen, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule right after practice. Appreciate you joining us. And Barry will tell you we're doing more and more to try to spotlight what's going on down here in the county. We had
Yes,
kind of a
sir.
late start this year because I was concerned that this 66-year-old body wasn't quite what it used to be messing around doing this high school football. But thank the
Yes, sir.
Lord, he got me still seaworthy for another season. We have a young intern from Morehouse that helps us out, and then we have a guy that's been with me really for the last 5 years, a teacher from out of Gwinnett County who drives an hour and 10 minutes one way just to be on the field and get some great video highlights. So hopefully one of these days we can get you guys. And if we can't, if you guys have a highlight that you do, please send them. We're more than happy to post them up on the Real Talk Sports Show.
100%, man. Thank you guys so much for having me on, man. I love any type of platform that brings positive light to high school football. And really just, kind of shining the light on the work that these young men are doing. That is positive and things that kind of move us forward in that direction. And so I'm thankful, blessed to be on with you guys, and I love to be on anytime.
Now,
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
you guys have a bye this week, correct? Do you guys have a bye this week, or you have a game?
Oh, I think we lost,
All right.
but
Well,
yeah, I
that's our
think they
final
do
list
have
from
a
Coach.
bye.
Yep. Yeah, because I was going to tell him that his next game is going to be against Stevenson. They got to put their hats on for that one, bro, because Stevenson's got a very good team, one loss. So that'll be on the 17th. All right, guys, we'll take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap up with the NFL. You're watching the Real Talk Sports Show. And big shout out to those of you guys who are back. You know what I'm talking about. Todd and Fantasy Sports, they're probably thinking, Red, where you been? We're back. All right, stay tuned for more of the Real Talk Sports Show.
Looking for a vehicle? Come to Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We're a family-owned dealership that's been serving the Atlanta area for over 40 years, offering an unbeatable selection of new Fords, Lincolns, and pre-owned vehicles. Enjoy our exceptional customer service and great financing options tailored just for you. Visit us at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in Morrow, Georgia, located just 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. Call us at 678-364-3979 or visit online at allenvigilford.net.
This is Patrick Willis, and this is Real Talk Sports.
Yeah, I was Patrick Willis. I had a chance to meet him during one of the Super Bowl weeks. At the time, this was a couple of years ago, he was there, and I told him, I said, hey, future Hall of Famer. And that big grin you saw right there, he said, maybe so. And sure enough, later, a couple of years later, he is now inducted into the NFL football, I should say the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Played with the 49ers and one of the great linebackers of all time. Patrick Willis was in the building with the Real Talk Sports Show. I appreciate him for jumping on and giving us a nice little shout out there. Barry Brown, we're going to wrap this up here, a little NFL football. Are we seeing now, Barry, the end of a dynasty? Kansas City Chiefs lose a shocking game to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's just say the game was shocking, but the way they lost, Patrick Mahomes throwing a 99-yard pick six. And this Chiefs team, man, they just don't look the same. Is it the end?
It could be, Jonathan. All things come to an end at some point in time. You're not going to dominate in sports year after year after year. You can go on a nice run, which they've had an amazing run, but that's going to come to an end at some point in time. And it's the NFL. So any given Sunday, you can lose to any of these teams. And if you go back to last season, if you can remember, they didn't look great in a lot of those games. They just found ways to win. And that's what that winning pedigree can do for you. It can will you to a lot of wins. But then you come into that next season and people look at that film and they see exactly how they can beat you. And I think that's what we're seeing now. And then shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. Listen, they got a lot of talent on that team, as we saw last night. And when you start putting a talent like Travis Hunter with a Trevor Lawrence and then all the talent, Etienne, their running back. See, now they have the full complement. And all you have to do, again, history repeats itself, especially when it's great history sometimes. When you start looking at the Dallas Cowboys dynasty that they had, you had Troy Aikman, you had the running back, you had Irving at wide receiver. So listen, when you have the three pieces in place and you can go do your thing, now you're ready to win. So that's what you saw with Jacksonville last night. Their defense stood up and made some great plays at the goal line. That interception return for a touchdown was unbelievable. And now everybody is questioning the Kansas City Chiefs. But let me say this before we put them to bed totally. They still have the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. And he will get them to the playoffs, in my opinion. They just might be 10-7 instead of what they normally do, at 14-3 or 15-2. They're probably closer to 10-7 this year, in my opinion. But we'll see. But I don't see them winning a Super Bowl this season.
But yeah, and keep in mind now, we don't. I mean, the AFC West now is a very, very tough place to get out of. Chargers and Broncos both are very stout as far as their coaching. These are teams that they got two of the best coaching in the NFL. So yeah, man, it's going to be tough because right now, if you look now, here's the good news. Even after that ridiculous loss to the Jaguars, they still only find themselves one game out of first place. They're 2-3, whereas the Chargers and the Broncos are 3-2. But the Chargers do have a game in hand, already beating the Chiefs earlier this season.
Correct. So, no, you're absolutely right, and that's why I can't say they're totally dead in the water, because they're going to compete as champions. They're not going to go out quietly. You're going to have to beat them like you saw Jacksonville do last night. You're going to have to make some plays in crunch time to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because again, they still have number 15 on the roster.
No doubt. Let's take a look also around the NFL. We'll stay with the AFC. Well, first of all, we need to talk about the breaking news in the AFC North, because we're going to get to them. A trade. Very rarely do you have this where teams trade within the same division. They normally don't like to do that kind of thing, but it has been announced that the Cleveland Browns have traded their starting quarterback and a sixth-round draft pick to their, I don't say arch rivals, you know what I mean? But the team whose original owner, they share the name, the Browns, because the original owner was Paul Brown of the Bengals. They traded them to the Bengals for a fifth-round pick. So now that means that Shedeur Sanders has moved up the depth chart. He is now the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, I want to say kind of a shocker that the Browns would say, hey, man, we're going to make this move now. I guess they figure, hey, we can get something for it. And now it's the Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders show. I don't know about you, Barry, but that whole Cleveland thing, man, is very messy. To me, it just, looks very, very messy.
Well, let's say it like this, Jonathan. When you have a franchise that have that many starting quarterbacks in these last, let's say, 10, 15 years, hey, right, man, you know there's something going on at the administration level by far. So, and at the talent evaluating level. So what you see now, if you go back, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the season, I don't know if I did it on this show. I might have done it on another podcast. But I said by the middle of the season, by the 8th or 9th game, Shedeur Sanders will be playing. And so I'm still holding to that. He's only one play, one bad game away from getting his chance to start. And I think when we see him play, then, hey, on a consistent basis, then we're going to see why he was considered a first-round draft pick and a high first-round draft pick at that. So, hey, at the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns are going to continue to do what they do most likely until they get new ownership up there in Cleveland. But I hope Gabriel and Sanders, they do well as young players, they get a chance to play and see what's going on.
Well, as you can see, once again, Todd does what he does best. He's apparently thrown some shade on Patrick Mahomes. Will you read that there, Barry?
Oh, I see it. Yeah. He got a wedding to plan. Yeah, well, first of all, he's already married. That's the first thing. Second thing is, he's not fat. You know what I'm saying? He just, I think they call it mature. I think he just turned 30, and he's still considered the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens down the stretch. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Hey, listen, now when you start talking about fat and slow, that's what you saw Cleveland just get rid of. They made one of the best decisions they can make in getting rid of Flacco. And I don't know what the Bengals traded for, but there's no way I'm trading for a 40-year-old quarterback that just got benched at another team. I put it like that.
Well, I tell you why they traded for him. Well, first of all, yeah, Mahomes never was in shape, bro. Even when Mahomes was like a rookie, he looked like, remember he just shirt off of somewhere, man. He looked flabby. Remember, listen, his body looked like my body. I'll be honest with you. When I look in the mirror, I say, hey, I look like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know real definition like I used to, you know what I mean? Stuff kind of there's a little jiggly. Just don't be right. But anyway, but he's always been that way, Todd. So that's the way he's built. And he's not going to be like, because listen, the realities are if you look at Tom Brady, the early Tom Brady, he was the same thing, bro. He didn't have no definition. He got that TB12, whatever they were feeding him to keep him playing into his 40s. Then he got all ripped, and now you see his face all gaunt like this from all them things. But when he first got in the league, bro, he was just Tom Everyman. He looked like a regular dude. So I'm just saying. Right. And now to answer your question on why I think they got Joe Flacco is because of the fact that they have guys like Jamar Chase, which, are a quick strike any place on the field. And one thing Flacco does, he can't move too good, but dude, he still got that cannon, bro. Yeah, he's a guy to put the ball 60 yards in the air. So they're thinking, hey, we got a much better offense than the Browns. We got a guy like Jamar Chase. What we want a quarterback that can put him up the bat. That's it. We're not trying to, we ain't looking for Joe to do no rollout, no naked bootleg, none of that. We just want we're going to put max protect and put Jamar in the fly pattern. We need you to put the ball out there about 60 yards. That's why they brought Joe.
I hope I don't see it. I don't see it, Mr. Simmons, but I hope it works out for everybody. I just personally don't see it. But hey, what I know.
But I'm just saying that's why they got him. I mean, it's not you're right. The guy's 40 years old. And the other thing too is the guy is a seasoned play caller. It's not like you're gonna trick him. You can put him in some. Well, I've never seen that before. And I understand we're talking 10 years ago, but still, the realities are this guy has played for a legendary team, and the guy had a season for the ages and took his team to a winning Super Bowl appearance. Where
he did that. He did that.
I mean, now again, don't get me wrong. That was 12 years ago. I get you, 12, 13 years ago now. So I'm not trying to say that you're going to get that Joe Flacco, but the bottom line is he can still put the ball 50 or 60 yards out there in the air. And like I said, that's all they're going to tell Jamar Chase, look here, man, max protect, just run. And Joe going to put out there for you.
Well, Minister Simmons, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to go look at some highlight tape of him last year and this year. And if you think he can do that, hey, man, listen, God bless you. Because I'm telling you right now, he's going to get killed back there and continue to look very slow in doing it. And I don't see it. But again, I hope it works out for the Bengals and Joe Flacco. Because I can tell you right now, the Browns are like, good riddance.
And the funny thing you mentioned that, what does that say about Kirk Cousins, bro? I mean,
and nobody wants to take on that salary. No, it's just money about Kirk.
Yeah, I guess
the real MVP for Kirk Cousins is his agent, and nobody's going to trade for that contract because you got to remember he's guaranteed another. He's guaranteed $100 million. So if you trade for him, you know what I'm saying? And nobody's going to do it. So the Falcons going to just sit him on the bench this year, and at the end of the year they'll cut him. And hey, what a great parting gift, huh? $100 million for 6 games. Hey, man, that's incredible. Well, no, he played a little bit more than 6. What he played? How many games did he play? He played like 13, something like that.
Before they benched him or 9, something like that. Before they say, "Hey, man, you got to sit down."
Yeah. So just say you played one season, almost a full season, and you got $100 million. Hey, man, shout out to Kirk Cousins and his agent.
Listen, there's no doubt he is a Hall of Fame negotiator. Him and his agent. I mean, that guy's got contracts that just It's just not deserved at all. Okay, let's go to our man, Fantasy Football Ghost Strategy. He said the Falcons will upset the Bills on Monday.
Yeah, I feel they're gonna play well too. I believe that Panthers game, Dub Deuce, that Panthers game definitely woke the Falcons up. For them to bounce back and play like they played against Washington showed who the Falcons are and that they do have some fight in them. So I'm looking, they got a good break. They should, I don't know if they're getting Terrell back, but if they get Terrell back and they ready to come out there with a good game plan, I believe the Falcons can pull out the upset. It's gonna be tough because Buffalo coming off a loss, so they're gonna be mad. However, Falcons, you got an opportunity, and I look forward to the Falcons playing very well. I don't know if they're gonna get the win, but I look for them to play very well come Monday night.
Well, the key is going to be is can Drake London imitate Stephon Diggs? Stephon Diggs, of course, coming from the Bills, feeling some kind of way, put up huge stats, 10 receptions, 146 yards for the Patriots. And really, him and Drake May put on a show. Speaking of Drake May, 23 of 30, 273 yards, no touchdowns, but no picks. And he really orchestrated that defense very well and made some key plays with his feet when he absolutely had to and put the ball where he needed to put it. Hunter Henry, another guy, had a decent game, had a couple of receptions, but they were big ones. 23 yards, a catch, 46 yards. Yeah, that's going to be the question. Can Michael Penix simulate that type of game that we've seen him play the last game? Can he get out there and be efficient? All right, we got to shout out my man before we get off here. Oh, my boy, Sully is back in the building. My man. Yes, indeed. And he says, of course, he calls me Pastor J Slice, but never on the green. Boy, that's right. Well, listen,
I like
man.
that. I like
yeah,
that.
man. That's my guy right there. That's my guy right there. All right. Here's Todd's back, Barry. Go ahead. Read what he says. Check him out. Yep.
Let's see that game against Quinn, soft defense, and Marcus. Hey, Todd, we can only play the teams that they put on the schedule. That's it. And we have nothing to do with them playing their backup quarterback. Jalen was hurt. We played the quarterback they put on the field. We'll take any win we can get. The NFL is a game of inches. Any given Sunday, any team can win or lose. And also, the NFL stands for not for long. So these players can end up being in the league 1 year and out the other. They can be in the season. You can be gone for the season. You always just one play away. So, hey, we're going to take every win we can get. So, hey, shout out to them Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to tell you the key to the game coming up on Monday night, Jonathan. You mentioned Drake London, but the player that has to play more like Diggs is Mooney. And if Mooney can get his act together, now you're talking about something special with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, I think the Falcons' problem is, man, I don't know where they find these guys are, man, but they get the most injury-prone guys I've ever seen in my life. I mean, and that's really the problem. The guy just banged up. All right, let's go ahead and get the social media real quick one more time. Sully gives you a big shout out to Barry. He says, "Shucky ducky, hello to Barry." Todd said, "Talk to me at game 12."
It's a long season, Todd. Long season.
And this is a question I thought that Todd was going to ask, but I knew someone was going to ask it.
Mm-hmm.
Sully says, "Where's the queen at?"
Oh, most definitely.
Well, guys, the reason why the queen's not on is that she has moved her dad here to Atlanta area. She was his caretaker, so she's doing some things with him. And also, the preacher, being the timely guy he is, got her the information late that she was going to be on the show. She said, "Bro, you can't hit me up like half hour, 20 minutes beforehand. Can't do it." But she did say to make sure to shout out her Tigers and also to shout out her Detroit Lions, who looked dominant again this week. Big win for them over the Bengals, 37-24. Their defense was ferocious. They had Jake Browning looking like he was a 15 player. They was terrible, bro. They had him harassed. I mean, he threw 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks, and they basically kept him under control, stuffed the running game. Jake Browning was the leading rusher with 31 yards. And, yeah, man, the Lions, they don't get the same kind of publicity like maybe the Eagles or the Chiefs, but, hey, man, they're on the real. That's a team that, had they not had some knucklehead calls by their coach, they could have been in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Tree said it. You know, she said it every week. So shout out to Tree on this. But Detroit, they're in their prime.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the time for them when they have all the receivers. They got Brown. You know, they got Williams out of Alabama. They got the two-headed running back monster, the best running back combo in the league with Gibbs and Montgomery. So
Yes, sir.
listen, with Goff at quarterback pulling the trigger, they haven't. I mean, they started off the season rocky with that loss. However, you see they got it into gear, and Goff has that team humming. And if their defense holds tight, if they don't have the injury plague defense like they did last season, yeah, definitely look for Detroit Lions to be in the NFC Championship game by far. And they're hungry. This is their window, and I like where Detroit is going. As long as they don't have to play my Falcons, I like seeing what they're doing.
Well, let's look. You talk about Jared Goff, just a masterful game against the Bengals. 19 of 23, 258 yards and 3 touchdowns. And like you said, again, he orchestrated that Lions defense to. They really ran up a big lead. They were actually up 28-3, and then all of a sudden, man, it looked like they were going to do the Falcons thing. Is what's his name came back and scored like 21 points in the fourth quarter. But by that time, the game was well reached. And like I said, again, they were up big. So yeah, man, big shout out to them. Yep. So yeah, guys, we appreciate you. About to wrap it up here. Sully says something it's over for them. I guess he's talking about Bengals. Anyway, Bengals. Yeah, Bengals look rough. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they look rough. Bro. Yeah, so yeah, it's just crazy stuff. Speaking of crazy stuff, the Cardinals continue to find ways to lose. Even their quarterback Kyler Murray says that we have found every possible way to lose, and they gave up a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, a series of fumbles and picks, and ended up losing to the Titans, a game they clearly should have won, up 21-6 at the half, dominated the whole game, and ended up losing the game 22-21. And this is of their 3 losses, every single one of them have been like this, like last possession, some kind of crazy play. So hopefully the Cardinals can get themselves turned around. Let's get the standings real quick before we wrap it up here. Around the league. Let's go here to the standings. 2 of the best teams that we mentioned are the Bills at 4-1, and also in the National Football Conference, the Eagles and Lions and Buccaneers and 49ers. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, that guy's like a crook, bro. I mean, guy finds a way to steal wins, make quarterbacks. I mean, dude, he made Mac Jones look like people saying that's why Belichick picked him. I mean, dude, Mac Jones dropped over 340.
Yeah, he looked good out there, man. He looked good. Hey, listen, there's no doubt Kyle Shanahan can coach now. It's all about the big games for him. He can't win the big games. And, the Falcons, hey, I'm still upset about the 28-3 situation. Hey, listen, once he gets his act together in big games, we're going to be looking at, a Hall of Fame coach there.
Oh, no, and probably going to be a Hall of Famer anyway if he keeps on this trajectory.
Right.
Because he's coached in now.
I agree with that,
3
John.
Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. Yep, he's coached in 3 Super Bowls. He's had his team dangerously close to winning. The other thing, too, if you look at Shanahan, now I'm going to say this really quickly. Everybody talks about what's his name, Sean McVay tree. But you know what? Quiet as kept. Everybody should be talking about the Dan Quinn tree. Because think about this. The Falcons had all them guys in their coaching staff. They had Dan Quinn obviously doing great stuff in Washington. They had Kyle Shanahan. They had a coach from Green Bay, was the quarterback coach. You forget that. I mean, all these guys were the Dan Quinn staff. So, people say what they want. They have another guy, I think, that was also on that staff as well as coaching the league. So, I mean, we can poke fun of Dan Quinn all we want. But the bottom line is, hey, man, Quinn put together a staff. But like he said, when he first came to Atlanta, he told Arthur Blank, I'm not coming unless Kyle Shanahan come with me. Because he knew something even back then. So big shout out to Dan Quinn. Great guy. Like I said, met him when he first got to Atlanta. Always was very approachable. Always was ready to talk with us. So I just want to give Coach Dan Quinn a shout out, even though we had to run him out of town after that knucklehead Super Bowl loss. I'm just saying. All right, man. Listen, before we get out of here, we want you to know about our guests and co-hosts. So, as we do each week, Mr. Barry Brown, the floor is yours.
Well, yes, sir. We talked about the Cardinals game, and this is to the young players out there, specifically for football players. Listen, You break a long run. You're in the daylight. Nobody's going to catch you. Cross the line before you drop the ball. Cross the goal line before you drop the ball. Okay? Had to get that out there, Mr. Simmons. I am Barry Brown, Coach Brown, author of the #1 book for youth student athletes, the Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life. And the youth organization is Youth Education in Sports, the nonprofit that helps student athletes and student artists wherever they are currently in their lives as teenagers. We help them formulate their life plan so they can become the adults that they're destined to become. If you do not have your copy of the Student Athlete Playbook, you can visit locally in the Atlanta, Georgia area, Nubian Books right there in Morrow, Georgia in the South Lake area, and then at Greenbrier Mall in Southwest Atlanta, Madu Bookstore inside of Greenbrier Mall. And then, of course, you can go to Amazon.com, the Kindle, and you can order your copies of the Student Athlete Playbook. And our website is youtheducationandsports.org, and we are ready to serve you and your youth. Thank you, Mr. Simmons. As always, had a great time, and keep up the great work with Real Talk Sports.
Mr. Barry Brown, we appreciate you, sir. All right, guys, before I get out of here, I always like to remind you of the fact that, yes, I cover sports. Yes, I enjoy covering sports, but my main thing is that I'm a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I'm going to tell you right now, you see all the crazy stuff going on in this world. You see people mean, nasty. You hear about devil worshiping, all kind of stuff. You know, the Lord's going to return very, very soon to shut this down. So I'm just going to warn you now. If you are not a born-again believer, if you don't know Jesus Christ, if you have not repent of your sins, I'm telling you, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to do that immediately. Repent of your sins, believe Jesus Christ came here, died for your sins, but rose from the dead. If you do that, two great things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adoptive child of God with all the rights therein. That means you can go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, to go to that happy place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no bad people, no pandemic, no pain. You never get old. You never die. You never cry. You are in the most beautiful place ever imagined. Matter of fact, beyond imagination, every building adorned with the most spectacular jewels ever created. Streets paved with a gold that's so pure it's translucent. And guess what? Now you see God, Jesus Christ, and all the people of love face to face. You avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned won't be there. And hell is dark, it's dreary, it's nasty, it's fiery, painful, and you, ma'am, you sir, are locked up with the devil and all his demons, all the worst people ever to be on the earth. And most of all, you cut off from God and Jesus Christ and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time we get back together again, we simply said we do each week. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long. Take care.